yeah, we're going to be talking about the best thing that can happen to you um, as an actor, and it's not what you think at all. So, we're going to be talking about the challenges that you can face when you're acting, when you're preparing, when you're auditioning, when you're taping, when you're filming. There's a lot of, obstacles, what can seem like obstacles. There's a lot of challenges that you can feel as an actor. You can get the sides at the last minute. You might feel that you don't have enough description for your character in order for you to understand your character and get into it. You might feel like you're in an audition room and something's off with the casting director and you can't connect, or you can't relate to each other. You might feel like you can't connect with the reader, or you're on set and there's so many challenges and so many things that can go wrong on set, like too many people, not enough time, the takes happening on the other person first and not you. I mean, the list is endless, right? So the take here is usually when I ask actors how they react when they're challenged and when they're busy acting. So let's say any obstacle comes into your space, and you can ask yourself this question too, like how does that feel for you? How do you usually react when you're being challenged when you're acting with any sort of external accident coming your way? You not jiving with someone, with the director, with your colleagues, your acting partners, makeup, hair, whatever is happening that is not seemingly going your way. How do you usually react? And when I ask this question to actors, and you can ask yourself, usually actors say they retract, they get smaller. It feels like they're being prevented from being free, or from being there, or from doing their best work. And you might have felt that before, that the challenges that you might be experiencing when you're auditioning or when you're acting close your instrument up, make it shrink. It makes you feel uncomfortable, not available, not open, blocked, small. And yes, pretty much not open. And that can really feel very uncomfortable, because you might feel like, oh my God, I was so ready. I was so prepared and I was in flow and I know I can do this really well, but now I feel blocked and it feels unfair because I was ready and they're not really, this happened or that happened or this person happened, and it's unfair to me. And you might feel like it's too hard for you to be able to always be present and free and instinctive and at your best with all of these challenges and obstacles coming your way, right? So say you're super prepared for a scene, and it might be a very emotional scene, and you're on set, and suddenly the actor who is your partner is not really present and not really doing anything when he's giving you the lines, and he's just next to the camera. And you might feel like, wow, that is really so unfair and so cruel. And because he's doing that, there's no way for me to be into my instrument and to be connected to him, because he's not really connected to me. And so I can't deliver the emotion, right? So it can feel really, really very frustrating, because it feels like these things are coming at you and there's nothing you can do about them because they're coming from the outside, right? And so what I would like for us to do today is to flip that over on its head, and to, for a second, and you might not like this because it might not be your most traditional approach to things, but to consider for 1 second that all of these challenges that are happening to you might be happening for you. That they might be the radical opportunities that you are looking for. You know how sometimes you hear filmmakers talk about some magic moments they've had in a movie, and the interviewer might ask them, so how did this happen? Or how did you plan this moment? And they'll say, you know what, this moment was actually an accident because this or that happened and we couldn't do the scene as we wanted to. I know there was a scene like that in Moonlight when they were in the water with the camera. I can't remember the name of the characters, but there was the main character and the child. Well, that was a whole scripted scene, and there was something going on with I can't remember, planes or weather or something like that. And there was big dialogues between them on the beach, and they couldn't do that. There was just no way they were going to shoot that. And so that was an obstacle that came from the outside, and it wasn't plannable. And it came to them. Plannable is a word that I've never used before. So probably isn't a word. Probably there was another word. Anyway, and yes, so they ended up in the water together with no text, no dialogue. And it was one of the most beautiful, scenes in the movie. So this doesn't just happen to filmmakers, it happens to actors. You'll sometimes hear actors too say, oh, tell us about this moment. How did this come about? And those moments are usually what we call magic accidents. And so what I would like for you to consider today is that these challenges, if they're not happening to you, but they're happening for you, well, they are like an invitation, like a radical invitation for something for you, an opportunity for you to explore, something that is truthful, authentic, really in the moment, and that only you could deliver in your unique way. So you're in a set of circumstances, you're a character, and then something happens in that moment, an accident, an obstacle. And if you can allow it in, and if you can decide to play with it rather than retract and close, if you can integrate it, incorporate it for your character, you will have a one-of-a-kind performance, because if you're integrating it authentically, you can only integrate it that way, and so you will show up in such a unique way that no one could ever possibly do what you just did. Does that make sense? So this is when you go from good to great to genius kind of thing. If you can go with what you're considering the problem, and instead of considering it a problem, you can take it as a radical opportunity, like as the goal that you've been looking for, rather than, no, shoot, something happened and it wasn't what I planned. Let's run away. Let's close up. Let's retract. If you can just lean in and go with it in your own specific way, then you have an Oscar-winning performance. So those are the things you actually want to look for and integrate and not shy away from, not guard yourself from. Because I always hear actors say that too, like they'll get super prepared and super confident and super strong so that nothing can affect them. Well, then what? Then what kind of performance are we having? Something that you planned the week before, the day before, and you're coming and you're delivering your plan? That's not alive. That's not moving. That's not magnetic, and it's not that. You want to be able to come with an instrument that's free, and that's the key. And that's, you're really there to defend your character. And when things happen in the world of this free instrument, being a character, you want to be able to integrate them. And of course, if the key is freedom, it means that we can say this and you might get it and go, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Things are not happening to me, they're happening for me, just like in life. And you might get it up there, but you might be on set and something will happen and you'll just go again, right? And the reason you'll do that is because you're wired to do that. You've been wired, educated, programmed, whatever you want to call it, to not go with the flow, to not go with your instinct, but to just do what you're told, to protect yourself, to control, to do it right, to do good, that there's only one way to do things. So you're not really open to these radical opportunities because you've been told and raised to plan things and to do it the way that it will please others and to stick to that. And you've been raised to believe that there are mistakes and that you should absolutely avoid them. And this has nothing to do with art. This has nothing to do with being in your instinct and in your freedom. But the thing is that if your instrument is still blocked inside of itself, if you're still resistant to your instinct, if you're not fully alive, open, untethered, unbound, untied, if you are, if you're resistant, if you're tight inside, if there's tension, if you're not fully present, if you're not able to be fully present, then you're not going to be able to surrender to those things that are happening for you because you're going to have your guard up and you're going to defend yourself from these things that you're going to perceive as threatening, right? So that's why we do the work we do in the reset journey. Actors are actually resetting their instrument in order to be fully present to whatever is inside and outside, in order to rediscover the incredible magnetic power of presence, not confidence, presence, being who you are at any cost all the time, being your unique self. And that is what is becoming genius performance, when you can be with whatever there is and you're not trying to control or come off a certain way. So if this makes sense and you're kind of noticing that you are guarded, that you're controlled, that you're retracting and feeling threatened by things happening to you, and you've tried to get out of that loop, but you're feeling like you're not having access to what I'm talking about, then really I would, really invite you to check out the work we do. And we don't do any work, you do the work, but to check out this resetting your instrument, because when you reset your instrument, there's really something incredible that happens, is that you become present to whatever there is, and therefore whatever comes your way is no longer an obstacle or a problem. It really is a radical opportunity to dance with the moment in your unique way. And that is what makes you very extremely fantastically attractive to casting directors, to the industry, to a director, Yes, so if you're interested in this work, check it out. Let us know in the comments. You can type reset in the comments and we'll send you some information. And if you have any questions, just put them in there and myself or the team will get to it. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Bye.